Hi everyone, this is a request. I received more than a few messages about anxiety of the future, fear of the future, stress from the past. How do you stop it? And specifically related to the 17 and 68 second rule of Abraham Hicks, that she believes that if you can stop your negative thoughts, your low vibrational thoughts in 17 seconds, they don't impact you. But somewhere between 17 seconds and 68 seconds, this is not my theory, this is Abraham Hicks. After 68 seconds, the law of vibration takes full effect. Between 17 and 68, the law of vibration is bringing in more thought, but after 68 seconds, you have already imprinted a signature into the quantum. There's something to keep in mind here, that everything and everyone has an aura, has a field. Everyone and everything has a field. And if you look at eggs of any animal, we're essentially magnets. We have the negative and the positive sides. It's always the same in every egg. You can tell the negative and the positive where the head and the tail of that species is. Now, what is aura? What is this field? How does this impact us? You have to realize that from the source frequency, which is so fast, so up there, it's the highest form of frequency, that it doesn't even move. It doesn't even vibrate. It vibrates so fast it doesn't vibrate, which means in that realm you are everywhere and everything and everyone at the same time. And then it drops down and it drops down and it drops down. If you look at the spectrum of light, which we can observe less than 1% of, then you can see the descent of highest form of frequency and the lowest form of frequency. There's a frequency right before matter stabilized in this hologram that we establish. And right before us, it's called the blueprint frequency. And that is in all of the fields and auras around us. So in our aura, in our field, information is changed because it's energy, it's frequency. All frequency is information. So our fields are full of information, and the field is projecting holograms, which creates us. Now everything has its own field, which is projecting, giving you the illusion of that thing being matter, that thing being a thing, or a person, or atom, or a proton, or an electron. It has that observer effect, that it creates that matter for you. Now, we have all heard of the statement that thoughts are things, right? When you think of something, it creates a chemical in your body. Stress hormones, happy hormones, love hormones, right? Fight or flight, everything else. In fact, when you start to have an intention of getting off the chair, before that intention has solidified inside of you, that I'm going to step off of the chair, your body has already turned that information into chemicals very, very fast. So fast that it has already sent that information to your entire body, to your heart, to make sure we send enough blood to your brain so that when you get up, the blood flow is still the same in your brain so you don't pass out from getting up fast. Have you ever heard of someone passing out because they got up too fast? So thoughts are extremely powerful. Your brain thinks and your heart feels. This is why, well, this is one of the meditation for the request that I'm talking about for anxiety and fears. You should try this meditation, it's on YouTube. And then I also have one for heart and brain coherence, which is really important. You want to be able to open your heart, and you want your heart and brain to be able to speak the same language so that there's coherence between them. And from that space, you can create magic, you can design life. You can put seeds of your desires and intentions of healing, of wholeness, of joy, of love, of gratitude in it. People don't understand that if you're doing something that's not a habit, if you're doing something that's not in your autopilot program, it is uncomfortable. It doesn't matter if it's happiness. It doesn't matter if it's the perfect relationship, love, joy, promotion, winning the lottery. It doesn't matter what it is. If it's not familiar to you, it will not only be uncomfortable, you will self-sabotage yourself out of it. Now, one of the reasons why you might be feeling anxiety and fear and guilt and shame and just stress over and over again is because you're addicted to it. Your subconscious mind will think of things, create things out of nothing to make you feel that way because that's what it thinks you want. Now, for you to get out of that, stop thinking those thoughts, stop thinking those feelings, it'll be uncomfortable. If I simply tell you to think of nothing but happiness and joy and love, it will be uncomfortable to you, believe it or not, because you're addicted to the opposite side of it. Abraham Hicks also talks about that if you're holding on to a stick and the part of the stick that you're holding on to has fear, well, the opposite of that is also on the same stick. You can focus your attention on it. You can grab the other side of the stick. You can do all kinds of things. I don't want to talk about Abraham Hicks stuff. That's not what I teach, but I'm referring to it because this is what was told to me. Have you ever had a moment where you were doing something in your life where you weren't thinking? You were in a flow state. The divine, the higher self, the soul in you became awake because you stopped thinking for a moment. When you think, you disconnect yourself from your higher self. When you stop thinking, you can hear the soul, you can hear downloads, you can get clarity. You know, we think we're so smart that if we just think long and hard, we can figure out all the variables around us and make the best decisions. Not true. That's not how that works. Have you ever seen a person channeling? Have you ever seen a person so present with you that they ended up telling you something that was so profound, so wise that it blew your mind, and at the same time it blew their mind because they didn't even see that coming out of them? You know, one of the things I do to get out of the habit of breaking yourself, right? Dr. Joe has a book about this, breaking the habit of being yourself. It's important to have good habits. It's important to have good standards in life, because if you have goals and intentions that do not align with your standards, and if they do not align with your happiness tolerance, what do you tolerate in life? You get in life not what you want. You get in life what you tolerate. As Tony Robbins says, you get in life what you deserve. You get in life what you accept. You get in life what aligns with your standard. You get in life what aligns with your vibration. So if you are miserable, you're asking the quantum, the universe, the source, the God, to please give me situations and realities in life that will make me miserable. And don't let me see it coming. Surprise me in a way that will shock me, but it will give me the misery that I'm feeling right now. It'll give me the fear that I'm feeling. It'll give me the anxiety that I'm feeling. Give me more of that. Give me more of that. That's what you're doing. We're always having communication with the universe that is beyond words. If they're feelings, they're heart-centered. If they're thoughts, they're brain-centered. Brain sends the signal out, heart pulls it in. So if you think of something, you're sending a signal out to the universe. And then if you start feeling miserable, you are attracting misery from around the world. You are attracting fears from around the world. You're attracting guilt from around the world. And you're collapsing shame from wave to particle, guilt from shame to particle, anxiety from shame to particle. And you're attracting and you're designing it because you're creating a blueprint. You're creating coherent, essentially. So imagine you have a really good diet. You eat organic, gluten-free, vegan diet, all of this good stuff that you have going on. And so you have all these beautiful nutrients inside of your body. And then you feel guilt, shame, fear, anxiety, all kinds of bad stuff. What are you creating in your body? You're creating very high quality, organic stress hormones. Very fine, high quality neuropeptides of anxiety, fear, shame, ego. And you're turning into a person that now needs to control other people. Imagine having an expectation that if my mother changed, I will be happy. If my father didn't behave the way he does, I will be happy. Imagine you're saying, if my husband wasn't doing this or that, or if my husband was different, I would be happy. But that's not how it works. We can give you a new husband. That's not going to change things, because the change has to come from within. When you change, everything changes. When you change energetically, you change the way you feel. Your heart energy center changes. Then you have new thoughts. Your 6 and 7 starts to change. Your 8 starts to change. You start to feel worthy. What do you feel worthy of? If you're feeling shame and guilt and fear and anxiety, what are you telling your energy centers? What are you telling the quantum? What are you telling your field, the blueprint? What are you doing? That's what you're worthy of. And it's so freeing when you live in the ultimate surrender experiment, where the universe starts to conspire in your favor. And by the way, universe is always conspiring in your favor and is giving you what you're putting it out there. So everything is a boomerang. God is very neutral. I do not believe God punishes you. And no, we're not punished for our sins. We're punished by our sins. God doesn't sit there and judge you. God doesn't know how to judge. Oh, there's going to be a judgment day. There's going to be this. No, there isn't. Whatever happens to you will determine your journey in your evolution. Whatever happens to you, no one is coming to save you. The only person that can save you is you. How do you do that? Change the information. Change your thoughts. Change your feelings. Change your emotions. How do you want to feel in life? You have seen movies. You've read novels. You've seen happy couples. You've seen rich people. You've seen poor people. You've seen happy and anxious, non-anxious, fearful, courageous people. You've seen all of that, which means you can close your eyes and give your subconscious mind, which is your body, a new mind, a new brain, a new information, new code to install. Because every cell in your body is emitting light. And when you change what you're emitting, you change your life. How? Because when you change, your energy changes. When your energy changes, your feelings and thoughts change. When that changes, the story that you tell about you, the story of you changes. Greg Braden says, when you change your story, you change your life. Dr. Joe says, when you change your energy, you change your life. Abraham Hicks says something similar about vibration. That changes your life. They're all saying the same thing from different angles, and they're all hoping that one of it will resonate enough with you to understand about changing your internal state of being. How you think and how you feel creates your state of being, and your state of being determines how you act. And combined, that creates your personality, according to Dr. Joe Dispenza. And your personality then determines your personal reality. You don't like the way your life is unfolding? Change the way you think and feel. And when you do that, according to Dr. Wayne Dyer, when you change that, you change the way you view the world, right? And when you change the way you look at things, the things you look at change. I hope this helps. I want a couple of you that requested this video to ask me follow-up questions, because this is a deeper topic. I'm going to be addressing this on August 17th in my retreat, very detailed and deeply, before I tell you guys how we're going to change our state of being, heal ourselves, heal other people, and then get into intentions and manifestations. And we're going to have at least three meditations, and we're going to do some breath work, and we're going to change how we think, how we feel, how we act. We're going to first get into the think box so we can get a real detailed explanation of how and why we're going to do why we're going to do it, so we can have an intention behind it, and we can assign meaning to it. Assigning meaning is so important. There's this one story that there were these ladies working in a hotel. I heard this story from Dr. Joe Dispenza. And there were staff that was obese, heavily obese, and they were cleaning rooms and they were doing all this stuff. And according to the health index, they were doing more physical work, more exercise than a person needs to stay healthy. So they took half of the staff and told them, because they needed a control group, they told half of the staff that they're working out more than what an average person is working out, which means it's really good for them, it's going to really help them, and they should just continue to do whatever they're doing, but they just gave them a meaning behind it. So it wasn't just sheets and laundry and cleaning and scrubbing, all this was, now there was a meaning behind it. They thought they were working out all day when they were working. And suddenly they started just shedding pounds. And the control group, nothing had changed other than half of the staff was given a meaning behind the act and the other staff was not. And suddenly the staff that had a meaning behind everything they were doing, and they felt that this was something healthy that they were doing, became very healthy. They lost a ton of weight. What does that mean? Nothing had changed other than how they thought about what they were doing and how they felt about what they were doing. What does that mean? Only the state of being internally had changed. And that changed, what does that change? That changes the coherence in your field. And whenever you change energy and frequency and coherence and information in the field, what happens? It changes the hologram. It changes your personality, changes your life, changes the story. That new meaning in their life was addition to the story of their life, and it made all the difference. Just by them believing and accepting that this was actually a workout that they were doing all day, not work. They felt good. And when they felt good, their body changed. Epigenetically, their thoughts and feelings internally changed the environments around their cells. We have an outer environment around our organism body, but every cell in our body also has an external environment, because every cell has its own field. Every molecule has its own aura and field. Every atom has its own aura and field. Every electron and proton and neutron has its own outside aura and field. That's what Dr. Joe means when he says patterns within patterns within patterns within patterns. Because you're going from particle to an atom, to the molecule, to cell, into an organ, into an organism. Patterns within patterns within patterns within patterns. And then organism, and then of course there's the field of that, and there's field of the fields, and then there's the community and the tribe and the planet and the universe. It's just, there's just infinite patterns within patterns within patterns. And this is why people say everything affects everything. I hope this helped. I love you.